I just always remember that movie As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson and the little fucking dog. It's a real 4-star movie.
OCD in it?
He does. He has severe OCD, and his gay neighbor gets hate crimed, and there's no one to watch the dog. And so Cuba Gooding Jr., who's the gay neighbor's boyfriend, bullies Jack Nicholson. He's like, "You're gonna watch this dog. You're gonna watch this dog. I'm watching you." And he's like shoves him a little. And he's like, "No, don't touch. Like, he's germaphobe too, on top of everything else.
That's a common crossover. Yeah.
And so he takes the little dog in, and the more he keeps the little dog, the more the dog, he realizes this little dog's like him. Like, the little dog is crotchety. It likes when he plays the piano.
What are you doing, Fido? And he's compulsively washing his paws.
Yeah, like clothes. So when he walks down the street, Jack Nicholson won't step on the cracks in the sidewalk. He can't. And so that makes him bump into people on the New York streets constantly. And they're like, "Get out of my way, asshole." And he's like, "Don't touch. He doesn't want to be touched, and he can't step on the cracks. And he's walking through New York. So it's a problem. And he looks down one day, and the little dog stepping over the cracks too. And he's like, "Don't you be like me. Don't you be like me, you little fucker." And these ladies are watching him. They're like, "Oh, I wish someone would treat me like that."
Would tell
It's a beautiful movie. Like I won't go.
So the dog likes Jack Nicholson more.
Loves him.
And then Jack Nicholson says, "Oh, it was all a scam. I've had bacon in my pocket this whole time." And I think in watching that, maybe I was casually paying attention. I took it as true. But that was an act of kindness for the dog's actual owner.
Yeah.
Where he was pretending to have bacon in his pocket the whole time.
Yeah. Gay owner gets out of the hospital terribly disfigured. And it's time for the dog to go back to him. And Jack Nicholson's going, "Go on. Go to the fucking faggot." And finally he's like, "You know why he likes me more than you? Is I keep this bacon. I don't
step on the cracks."
Yeah. And it's just pitiful. He still doesn't want it. It's a great movie.
You've never dealt with invasive thoughts and like the OCD shit. I was the most neurotic 10-year-old you've ever met. Like so what he was saying, like lots of people are like, "Oh, I'm OCD." Like I was diagnosed OCD at like 10. Like everything had to be balanced. I would be like unable to focus on anything in school because I would notice that I had leaned on the left side of my desk too long, and I would have to try and think about how exactly long I leaned on that side of the desk so I could counteract it with the other side. I would have to turn off lights and like check locks multiple times. When I was driving, now? The only thing I still do now is this next thing. When I was a kid, I would be in the back seat like driving, and I would have to blink like exactly between the two telephone poles, like estimating exactly where the middle point would be and try and blink on that. And I will still catch myself sometimes trying to blink at exactly the middle point between telephone poles. God, I used to have invasive thoughts. Like if I don't do something I knew I wasn't supposed to, my grandparents are going to die and go to hell. Yeah. And so it'd be like, push Johnny off his bike, or your grandma's going to be in a car accident and die, and it'll be your fault. And like, I wouldn't indulge in that. Like, I wouldn't shove kids or do that. I would just be like, I know this isn't real, but like, you can't not obsess over it. So it's awful. Like everything had to like move the same way. If I walked somewhere like down the hallway, like, if it was like not the right number of steps, or I stepped on, like I guarantee I looked like a fucking goober walking around the lunchroom as a 10-year-old, because I also wasn't stepping on cracks. I was walking around. I always thought, I'm like, I just need to walk the way that a knight moves in chess so that it looks natural and I'm still not stepping on the cracks.
Yeah, I had a ton of these as a kid. When we moved from Morristown to Ocean City in my childhood, part of it was for getting bullied for different like tics that I couldn't not do. I was training my hair to go to the side, and I would brush it with my fingers like that, but way too much. And in 5th grade, or 6th grade, there were like teams of children that would walk pigeon-toed like I did and brush their hair like incessantly, doing this like Woody imitation of just making fun of me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I disagree. I had a sound I would make, like by like sloshing bubbles through my lips. My parents hated it. It was like an embarrassment that was audible, and I would hit myself to like get over that,
like through the teeth and back, like through your teeth
on
to
the
your
sides, like this. And
yep.
Yeah,
I never heard that.
And I have a bunch of these. And when Taylor talked about the balance thing, I was like, are you me? Even to this day, if Jackie wants to like fuck with me, she'll squeeze one toe and then stop there and just like vanish. And it's like, the other toe needs squeezing. We all know this. I'm balanced.
It does. It should be balanced out. Like even now as an adult, to be courteous, it should be balanced.
Everything in balance, little one. No,
I know that nothing bad's going to happen, but let's be safe.
Like anywhere where there's like folds of skin, like between your fingers, how they kind of make folds of skin sometimes, depending on it. Like I would be constantly doing this, like sort of like exercising that to make that. I don't know what it was to get to stop. And then like the corners of your eyelids, I'd constantly be going to like open them up all the way so they wouldn't stick, and then like corners of my mouth too. And then my hair, oh my God, they thought I was gay because I'd twirl my hair all fucking day. I'm twirling. Yeah, that's fine.
Because they call me twirling my hair with my classmate's dick in my mouth.
Nobody else twirls their hair when they suck it, Kyle. Sorry, the tick.
It's coming off as a little gay.
I'm always twirling I wasn't pulling it out, thank God. I remember there was a girl who did pull her hair out. I remember her name, Renee Rice. Renee Rice pulled her hair out until she had these bald patches everywhere. And I'm sure it was something terrible at home was happening or whatever, but I didn't do that. But I twirled that shit and I made these little, little ponytails, and I'm just like, I don't know how to braid hair or anything, but I'm like making little twirling that shit up for whatever reason and incessantly. And then the inside of my mouth, like the inside of my cheeks, I'm biting it. I'm like chewing it.
Like open wounded kind of?
I can still feel them. They're rough now because as a kid, I'd be sitting there for hours at a time chewing the thin layers of skin off and like spitting them. I don't know why. The same reason you can't sit in a chair right.
That's true.
I don't know why. And now,
wait, Taylor can't sit in a chair right?
We just, that's his thing.
I used to fall out of my chair at dinner as a kid all the time. Like, I don't know why, but my dad was like, as a kid, you just we'd be like sitting there. Now it's just beds. I'll just be sitting there eating. And he's like, yeah, I would look up to a huge noise. And Taylor, you'd just be on the ground. Like, because I guess I would sit on the chair and try to just like lean while I was eating and balance on the two legs, and made an ass of
thing I do now. I wonder if people relate to this. I sometimes take my mouse, I wish you could see it, and I'll like go back and forth over one side of the window. In this case, it's my browser. And then I have to do the left side enough times to even it out and then put it in the center.
Yeah, that's what I do? The areas in between where all of our screens are, like I'll often like move my mouse like to make sure I'm not touching the screen. Maybe I still have this.
I don't know of course.
I'm sorry, Kyle. I'm interrupting you, but I'm thank you. It's almost as if you don't get over it, but you choose things that are totally tolerable, right? Like I have a bunch of tics. When I get into the elevator, I just fucking blink hard and freak the fuck out with like my facial expressions. But I don't have like audible tics.
Hey, dude, look on camera, B. This guy is sketching out in the elevator.
Yeah. Oh my God. Elevators are like a thing for like.
Is it claustrophobia?
No, it's privacy. Like, oh my gosh, I've been suppressing this event for so long that I'm ready to just like let go.
Like the fart you take after a date. Like as soon as she's out of that car. Oh my God, the biggest farts of my life have been after women got out of my car after a 4-hour date.
Yeah,
it's that fart that you've bottled them up till they go back up your intestines. You're like, oh, I hope that's healthy.
You feel it like the reverse gurgle up, like that one's in my stomach now. My next burp's gonna be stinky.
I mean, being a nice restaurant should have cushioned chairs. Do not sit me on that hard piece of wood. Embarrass me in front of these people. So like those girls would get out of my car and it's just and I'm just like, oh,
it's like the resonance frequency of the windows and it's like a bass. It's like Dolby Digital.
The tolerable thing, like switching to tics that are more tolerable and less visual. Like now it's cracking my knuckles and my toes. I gotta get them all exercised, and I call it limbering up.
Is it bad for you? I never got.
I've done a little research on this because I was worried because they started hurting, especially like the little ones on the pinkies. Because I do this thing where I start at here and like roll over popping them like fucking Batman or some shit. That's where I saw it the first time. I distinctly remember watching Batman crack his knuckles and being like, that's my thing now. I'm the knuckle cracking guy. I'm the knuckle cracking guy. And now I can't stop. And before I started taking testosterone, the pinky ones were really hurting, so much so that I had to be like, stop doing it. I would go to do it and I'd be like, you're hurting yourself. Stop. And it went away. Like, it felt like I was developing minor arthritis, and then it just stopped hurting.
And it's fine to do this. It sounds like it's bad.
The internet says it's not bad for you, and the wives' tales tell you that it will cause arthritis. My thought is, I do it so much and so hard that I might be an outlier in this regard. And they're like, yeah, popping your knuckles doesn't hurt. How often do you do it? I don't know, once a week. Oh, because I do it 15 times an hour.
Yeah. The second they recharge, I pop them again.
Yeah, as soon as they're recharged, I'm ready to go again. I'm doing it now. Like I have the same,
You're
across
backwards cracker. I don't like that.
No. I go down, and then I go across, get any like leftovers, and then I hit every little mini digit, like all the way down.
You can get 4 pops per finger, and you have to get all 4. Otherwise,
I get my thumbs. like I'm going to town, and then I'm moving to the feet. Yeah, that's a problem.
Taylor, what happens if a knuckle won't crack?
Oh, nothing. I'm
Nothing.
like,
Okay.
I don't actually care. It's just more like, sometimes you try and pop a knuckle and like it won't go, and then you go a little too hard and you're like, it wasn't ready, and I like hurt my finger a little bit. That was stupid. Like that's all I'll do.
I can crack my big toe. I kind of bend it and pull it out, and it gives me a nice big toe knuckle crack.
You guys have seen me do it, but I bend all my toes down like my fingers. Like all of them go down like this, and they all pop like from bending them down from the big one to the
not
lower.
normal.
Yeah, probably not. It doesn't
Is
hurt.
it called Swan's disease? Do you have that?
There's a swan neck deformity thing that I think affects, my finger there and like all my hand joints. I think it's probably, in other places, because my shoulders dislocate fairly easily. I've done it. They haven't popped out where I'm screaming, but it's been like, oh no, it was just about to. Like, there's this intense, sharp pain if I lift my shoulder the wrong way. And it's not like a nagging injury, like a sore thing. It's like, you engaged that joint in the perfect way with weight so that it was just about to come out. I've done it before with cables and stuff like that. If I just lift it up a certain way, I get this piercing pain. But again, it's not like that's an injured sore spot. It's like you're about to throw your shoulder out. So I don't know. But I try not to do too many ticks anymore. I will say every now and then, if I have an intrusive thought, I'll remember some stupid thing I said in 5th grade, and embarrassed myself, and I'll go, fuck. I'm like, what are you yelling out loud for? Ain't nobody here. I'll literally have a little Tourette's moment where I like curse from like that thought will hit me and it'll hurt a little. So why'd you say that?
Like, God, I'm such a cringe idiot. I hate myself.
Oh my God. I mean, it's not quite like I think you've got the most embarrassing moment I've ever heard with that poop story.
Yeah, that was rough, man.
But I'll think back to moments like that I've had, and I'll just be like, inward. And I'm all alone. I'm not,
you just say it to get it out, get those feelings out. A little hard R therapy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what he's meaning.
I heard inward, and I'm like, I don't understand what inward as opposed to outward. Like, I totally lost on the joke.
That's because you're a good white man. You're an ally.
I'm an ally. I am.